Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to read Toby's story. Toby's Story, Chapter 3. And guys, I hope you're enjoying this book so far. And guys, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you will have a good day, and tomorrow too, and I hope you're having a good summer. So guys, let's get started on Chapter 3, Toby's Story. Chapter 3. It was a few days after that I heard a car door slam. I was dozing in the shade of a small house where only my mother Sadie and I lived now. And I looked up to see Walt walking toward our pen with a tall woman and a girl beside him. I saw your sign out front that said dog free to a good home, the woman was saying to Walt. But, oh dear, a beagle? He's so cute, said the girl cried. Oh, look at him. Oh, look at her. She had dark brown hair and curled around her face, and freckles scattered over her nose and cheeks. I wondered how they'd taste. He's adorable, Mona, the woman said, but a beagle's not the right breed for us. I'm afraid they have so much energy. They need to run all day. That's not going to work. Oh, the girl said sadly. She was staring at me through the wire of the pen. I stared back at her. I swished my tail back and forth hopefully. Was this my family come to get me at last? Well, Toby's not your usual beagle, Walt said. Sweet little guy, very friendly, but he doesn't seem to want to run or chase much of anything, so I can't sell him off of a hunting dog like I did his brothers and sisters. I'd hate to have him put down, the girl Mona gasped, but I don't have room on this place for a dog that just wants to lie around. Walt finished up. A dog wants to lie around is just all what we need, the woman said. Mona's dark wide eyes, seemed to get even wider. Really, Mom? Wait, looked hopeful. Walt looked hopeful. It doesn't bother you that he's a beagle who doesn't run. Well, it's hard to explain, Mona's mother answered, but I do believe he's going to be perfect. We'll take Toby. And that is how I left Walt and the ranch and my mother and found myself riding along in the back seat of a car, held close in Mona's arms. She felt warm and it smelled excellent, sweet from her skin, something delightful, salty and sweet on her breath, berries in her curly hair. I squirmed so I could get my nose into every wrinkle of her shirt and every crease of her neck. I licked her freckles, which did not taste like much after all. Her mouth. She laughed. Mom, he's so friendly. He's going to be perfect. Let's hope so, her mother answered from the front seat. The car had glass windows, and when I was done smelling and tasting Mona, I wiggled over to put my paws up on one of them and see what was outside. Everything was moving. Trees and bushes and other cars went past in a bewildering blur. I had no idea the world moved so quickly. The car stopped, and the world stopped with it, holding me snugly. Mona wiggled out of the car. We were outside a very large building. I was used to seeing Walt come in and out of his house, but this building was much bigger. When we went inside, I discovered something remarkable. The building was full of people. Did all buildings have this many people? There are a sort of table in front of us, with a woman sitting behind it She was laughing in an astonished way as Mona put me down on the floor. The cold the cool tiles felt good on my itchy feet. I was tempted to lie down and give the pads of my paws a good chewing, but there was so much to see and do. For now I ignored the itching and kept moving. A long halfway ran on A long halfway ran off in one direction and another in an opposite one. There were doors along each halfway and people too. So many people. Some of the people were sitting in chairs that had big wheels on them. Some were walking slowly, leaning on long sticks. Others seemed to be hurrying, as if they had important things to do. I ran along the hallway, sniffing each any friend, eagerly, with Mona right behind me. They smelled interesting, not like Walt. Walt had smell of mud and sweet and food and other animals. Most of these people smelled of something unusual, something I had never smelled before. I could not decide if I liked it or not. It was not a smell out of the outside world that I was used to really. All that I smelled of was clean. Who would want to, who would want to be clean when dirty smells were so much more interesting? A few of the doors were open, and when I peeked inside, I saw beds with more people. It was so overwhelming that I ignored the signals coming from my bladder until they got so powerful that I had to squat right there. I was. Toby, not here, Mona gasped. She snatched me up before I even got started and rushed me down the hallway and out through a different door from the one we had come in. We were in a yard and concrete sidewalks and smooth lawn. At the far side of the lawn was a tall wooden fence with a few trees and bushes growing next to it. Mona put me down in the grass so I could finish what I'd been doing. Once I was done, she scooped me up again and cuddled me while I licked her chin. You're going to be a great therapy dog, Toby. I just know you will, she told me. I didn't know what her words meant, but I liked the tone of her voice. I could hear love and approval in it. I loved her too. I was pretty sure that Mona and maybe her mother had just become my human family. Listen now, Toby, Mona said, and she sat down on the grass with me in her lap. Her voice sounded serious, and I was a little tired after all the excitement. Plopped down on her legs and nibbled at her fingers just a little so she would know that I liked her as much as she liked me. The people here, they need a dog like you. They're old, Toby. She dropped her voice a little, and I could tell she was talking just to me. Too old to live by themselves anymore, so they come here, and my mom helps take care of them. She's a therapist. There are other people who work here, of course, all the nurses and orderlies, and there's Fran. She's the boss, but see, people can't do everything. People can give the patients their medicine and help them get into wheelchairs and stuff like that. But they can really make them happy. That's what you can do. Toby, you can make people happy and I'll help you, okay? We'll be a team, you and me. I liked Mana very much. She tasted delicious, and she was very good at scratching along my spine, and she was very good at scratching along my spine and behind my ears. Oh, my second day in my new home. She bought me a collar with a tag that rang like a bell. When I shook myself and jangled when I ran, And the best thing about Mana was this. She talked to me all the time. I didn't understand her words, but I was delighted by her tone of voice. It told me that she loved me and trusted me, and that she thought I was important. Out of all the people in my new home, she was my favorite. But I liked all the people, and I met more and more of them. As the days went by, there were the people in the chairs and the people in beds. Visited them regularly. Some fed me treats. Some fed me treats with the excellent, which was excellent. Some petted me and talked to me, calling me by my name. Toby, come, they said. Here, Toby, where's Toby? Good dog, Toby. I liked hearing my name over and over in so many voices. I liked having so many people to greet each day. When I was tired of or my feet needed a good chewing, I'd lie down beside a chair or a bed, and sometimes Mana or her mother would pick me up and put me on a lap or on a soft blanket next to someone who was my feet. It's so badly that I could not stay asleep. Since I was tired a lot, it was good that my new house had so many laps and so many beds. Good dog, Toby, Mana's mother said one day, stroking me as I lay on a bed next to a woman with white hair and very soft skin that gave off a smell of flowers. Another woman had come into the room and stood there with folded arms. She had gray hair, cut short, and was short and thin herself, with a frown on her face. I was skeptical about this whole therapy dog idea. Patsy, she said. I was starting to understand that Mana's mother had two names, Mom to Mana and Patsy to everyone else. It was confusing, but people are like that. They hardly ever do things to the simplest way. But I have to admit, you got me half convinced. The other woman went on. That thing isn't half as much trouble as I thought it would be. He's perfect, Fran, Mana agreed, rubbing my ears. He just wants to lie around, and that's what we need him for. I think he just can start some real training very soon. The second woman, Fran, stood watching me for a little while longer. She stood the way another dog does when he wants something to know he's in charge. Very straight, as tall as she could. Her voice sounded in charge, too. She talked quickly and firmly, and a bit louder than Patsy. I understood that she was the boss, and I lowered my head a little and wagged my tail at her to show her that I would not try to question her leadership. When the white-haired woman began very quietly snoring, Mana came and took me outside the lawn. After I'd left the puddle soaking into the dirt, I plopped over to gnaw at one of my back paws, which was itching furiously. Someone inside pushed the door open. A tall boy came out. I could tell he was young, not a man yet. Puppies don't... Puppies... Wait. Puppies don't look or smell like grown-up dogs, and young humans are the same. The boy had brown hair, lighter than Mana's, that flopped into his eyes. They were squinting a bit in the bright sunlight. Hey, a puppy, he said, and I could hear the pleasure in his voice. He came to kneel beside us. Can I pet him? Sure, Mana said. That's his job, being petted. I want to hold him. She scooped me up and dumped me into the boy's lap. My foot was still itching, and I was ready for a nap. But I knew I should greet this new person. I got my feet on his chest and looked at his face, tasting some salty and delicious on his mouth. that he must have eaten for breakfast. He laughed and used both hands to scratch my back and rub my ears. Once I was done tasting him, I lay down in his lap and closed my eyes. Mana and the new boy talked a little while his hands stroked my back. "So, are you visiting someone?" I heard Mana ask. "Yeah, my grandfather. He's moving in," the boy said. "What about you? Do your grandparents live here or something?" "No, my mom doesn't live here. She works here. She's a therapist. And I come on the weekends a lot. I help out with Toby." "That's this little guy's name, Toby?" I thumped my tail sleepily when I heard my name. "It starts with a T, like mine. I'm Tyler. I'm Mana," Mana said. I wagged a bit for her name, although it felt like both of them wanted to. "So, Toby sure seems calm for a beagle," the boy said at last. "Yeah, he is." Mana sounded relieved to have something to say. "That's why we got him. He's going to be a therapy dog." "Cool," the boy said. "And you're training him. You must be really good at it. I mean, they don't let kids train dogs usually, I guess." Mono laughed. I wagged again. "Oh no, I'm not a real trainer or anything. I've just read some books and stuff, and I like dogs. I want to do that when I grow up, though. Train dogs. I love dogs." "Me too. Me too. Wish I had one at home. My mom says maybe someday, but I guess it's better not to have one right now. We're going to be coming up here on weekends a lot, visiting my grandfather, making sure he's settled and okay." "That's good." Mon reached a hand out to pet me, too. I sighed. "Some of the people here, they don't get a lot of visitors. It's really sad for them. Toby's going to help with that. Dogs are great company." "Yeah, for sure. Hey, can I take Toby to meet my grandfather?" "Sure, she can. He's Sure, he can. Uh Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. Hey, can I take Toby to meet my grandfather?" "Sure, you can. He loves new people." The boy seemed to hesitate. "Maybe you could come too?" Even half asleep as I was, I felt a funny sort of heat coming over Mana, and she seemed not sure what to say. But when I half opened one eye to peek at her, she was smiling. "Yeah, okay, sure," she answered. "You carry Toby." Chapter 4, guys. So, guys, we're gonna end this video right here, and I hope you enjoy this video. And guys, I hope you have a good day and a good summer. So, guys, bye. See you next